My take on this is that Umar needs money, needs a paycheck, and that he was tired of waiting for a fight because he's obviously had some inactivity issues here. Nobody wants to fight this guy. That just seems to be reality. He's having a lot of trouble getting a matchup, and rightfully so, because he's awesome.
How you doing, fight fans? It's Timmy Shoes with Inside Fighting, back with another episode of Insider Betting. We've got UFC Vegas 87 on the docket, but Jesse Rowe has something else, something special that he wants to talk about. Jesse, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. I mean, you didn't have to introduce that I have something special to talk about. I just figured that we were going to go in a normal episode, but we don't just have UFC Vegas. We also have a nail biter this weekend, Timmy, in the boxing world. We have Jake Paul taking on Ryan Bourland. Now, this is on the same card as Amanda Serrano is fighting. So he's actually the co-main, I believe. Amanda Serrano is the main event, which is cool. It's cool that Jake Paul is doing that to boost up women's boxing and everything like that. But
Sure.
I wanted to get your reaction before we go to UFC, because this line is it's something to behold. It really is. So
I'm bracing myself because I saw his opponent hitting pads. Very inspiring.
Jake Paul is a plus 4,000 underdog. Now, Jake Paul is a minus 2,500 favorite versus Ryan Bourland, who's a plus 1,300 underdog. But so obviously he's a heavy favorite. I think we all understood that this was going to happen. But if you're interested, how am I going to make money on this fight? Well, the over-under on rounds, you would think is normally what, like 6.5, 7.5, something like that. That's normally what it would be, right? That's even later for some fights when you expect a guy to get finished. The over-under on rounds is 1.5 at a minus 165 to go over 1.5 rounds, a plus 120 to go under 1.5 rounds. This is on DraftKings.
Well, there you go. Plus 120.
Jake Paul to win by decision is a plus 600. To win by knockout is a minus 900.
Wow.
This is one of the all-time
Wait. I mean, you got to give us the odds. What about the other guy to win by knockout?
Well,
Plus
all right.
8,000.
Winning method. Ryan Bourland to win by decision is a plus 3,500. To win by knockout is a plus 1,800. It's essentially the 1,800 and 1,300 are similar. I think they're just assuming that the only way he's going to win is if he knocks Jake Paul out.
Yeah,
is what they're assuming, or gets DQ'd. That Jake Paul somehow gets DQ'd by throwing an elbow or something like that. So yeah, this is just an all-timer. This fight is fucking fixed. This fight's bullshit. It's just literally there for Jake Paul to legitimize his boxing career. I think that Jake Paul is obvious. What he's done is impressive. I'm not knocking the guy, but this fight's bullshit, Timmy. And Vegas's odds are indicative of that. They're trying to hype up Ryan Bourland as if he's a legit threat, a legit competitor. He was, because he's apparently a Golden Gloves winner, but the odds makers are letting you know clearly that they believe that this fight has a predetermined result. Now, I am not allegedly. I'm not saying that it is fixed. I'm just saying that like Ryan Bourland is potentially showing up for a paycheck and potentially betting his entire mortgage on Jake Paul to win too. Well, who knows? But we'll see. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
Wasn't his last opponent the guy who was a Golden Gloves competitor?
Oh, isn't that funny? Yeah, and he got knocked the fuck out in the first round. Andre Arnst. Yeah.
But listen, we can't get mad at Jake Paul because for years everyone was like, he's got to fight real boxers. He's doing it like real boxers doing it. This is the start of his career, right? He's building up his career.
Is Ryan Bourland a real boxer? I mean, supposedly
this is what real boxers would do. They would fight 10 tomato cans before taking a real fight.
Yeah.
Jake Paul, actually, he fought some real MMA guys, but they're MMA guys, not boxers. Anyway, that put the house on Ryan Bourland to win by knockout.
Yeah, exactly.
Please don't.
Okay. No, please don't bet on this at all. Just don't touch it. Yeah.
Unless you want to throw Jake Paul on the money line in my parlay, which I'm going to bring up later because I'm feeling real good about this parlay. But anyway, UFC Vegas 87, headlined by Jairzinho Rozenstruik, versus Shamil Gaziev. Some heavyweights, but we've got some good fights, including Habib's cousin, who is keeping in line with the Nurmagomedov tradition of fighting plumbers. No, I'm just kidding. He's fighting some guy named Bekzat Almakhan, who's making his UFC debut. He fights in Kazakhstan. Now, he's not entirely a plumber. He is 17-1, but Umar is a minus 1,200 favorite. You do not see that very often in MMA. And Bekzat is a plus 750. Jesse, give me your thoughts.
My thoughts are that I have no idea who Bekzat is. Umar went from fighting Corey Sandhagen on they were going to headline an event. Who's supposed to fight Corey Sandhagen? Obviously got injured. That fight never materialized. My take on this is that Umar needs money, needs a paycheck, and that he was tired of waiting for a fight because he's obviously had some inactivity issues here. Nobody wants to fight this guy. That just seems to be reality. He's having a lot of trouble getting a matchup, and rightfully so, because he's awesome. Umar is awesome, and he's going to be really good. But yeah, I've never heard of this guy. Bekzat Almakhan reeks of who's that guy we were just talking about, Timmy?
The guy who fought Alonzo Menafield with
the guy that fought
fake
Alonzo
record.
Menafield, that fought Oscar Mazharov, a guy that probably fights in. I bet you Bekzat he fights in a Combat FC, something like that, in Kazakhstan. His numbers are boosted up to get him to the UFC. He reeks of he's the next Oscar Mazharov. Now I'm being disrespectful. That could be totally wrong, but Umar's going to win this fight. Don't touch it. Don't touch the money line. Throw him in a parlay. This is a tune-up for Umar until he can get a contender match because he's having trouble getting a fight.
That's right. Throw him in a parlay because I have a very good parlay. Stick around to the end because you're not going to want to miss it. Alex Perez is a plus 270 underdog, and he is fighting Muhammad Mokaev. By the way, I'm picking Umar. I don't think.
Yeah.
Muhammad Mokaev is a minus 340. I am very big on this guy, Mokaev. I said he was my pick to be flyweight champion at the end of this year. So I think he's getting closer. He has to get through Alex Perez. I think he's going to, but Jesse, give us your thoughts.
My thoughts on this are that if you want to have a good laugh or you want some reading material that'll blow you away, go check out Alex Perez's his fight history. Go check out his tapology. His last, it's insane. I'll put it up on the screen. His last, like, over the past 2 years, he's had like 14 cancellations or something crazy like that, mixed in with a loss. But if you go look at it, I mean, he has literally been scheduled for like 10 to 12 different fights. They've all been canceled one way or another. He cannot.
God.
How insane is it? You're seeing it right now, right?
I'm looking at it right now. He's got more canceled bouts than he has
actual fights,
losses or wins in a long time.
It's insane. Yeah. So he's had trouble. Wow. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Perez doesn't even show up on Saturday night. There's a chance that he doesn't. That being said, it's a good matchup. Perez is a good fighter, but I think I agree with you. I think Mokaev is just destined for a title shot at one. It's either going to be Mokaev or Manel Kopp if Kopp can figure out his weight issue. They're one of the two next flyweight contenders, not named Royval or Moreno. So I like Mokaev. I think that he's motivated, and I think he's probably like the most structurally sound fighter in the flyweight division that could be fighting for a title. So I like Mokaev. And the money line's actually close enough. I might consider it. It's not great, but it's close enough compared to the other ones that we've done so far. This is looking like underdog odds.
Yep, we have, except for the main event, we have some pretty big odds, which is why you have to stick around for that parlay, because I'm going to tell you how you're going to make money at UFC Vegas 87. Moving right along.
You got Mokaev too.
Event, we've got our man Vito
You got Mokaev
Patrino.
too, right?
Huh? Yeah, Mokaev obviously.
Too? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Vito Petrino, Brazilian knockout artist, finisher. He's taking on Tyson Pedro. Petrino is a minus 305 favorite, and Pedro is a plus 245 dog. Jesse, give us your thoughts.
Okay. So I think that I don't know much about Patrino. I have to be honest here. I don't know much about him. I like Tyson Pedro a
Undefeated
lot.
finisher.
Yeah, I like Tyson Pedro a lot, though. One of the best celebrations you'll ever see celebrating a knockout. Whatever the card was that Izzy lost to Strickland, Tyson Pedro had an incredible finish where he does his now infamous samurai celebration, or it was like a Three Musketeer celebration or something. I don't know what it was, but it was fucking
I think
dope.
it was samurai.
But he
It
does
was
like the
cool.
bow at the end, like an old school
Yes.
yeah. So really cool. Yeah, samurai. That makes more sense. Um,
Three
so I like
Musketeers.
Pedro a lot. I think Pedro might be my high value underdog here on this card. Because I think he has
Foolishness.
knockout potential. I don't know enough about Patrino. I could be totally fudging this, so do not take my advice on this fight. But I would take Pedro as my high value underdog, and I think that he'll get the upset.
Don't listen to Jesse Rowe because he is dead wrong. Vito Petrino, he's going to be
Okay.
11-0 after this, and he's going to win by knockout. Remember that.
Okay.
Now, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, he's fighting again. He is a plus 140 underdog against Shamil Gaziev, and I am telling you, Vegas and everyone else thinks that this fight is not going the distance. These big boys are going to throw hands, and someone's getting knocked out. Jesse, give us your thoughts.
Really quick, I do want to go back to the Mokaev thing, and you're getting some love if you go with him by submission. You have him at a plus 150. If you decide that you want to bet on the money line, or if you don't want to bet on the money line, you can take him by submission at plus 150, which is interesting. So this one feels a little bit like a coin flip because it just kind of feels like two heavyweights that like to throw punches that if they touch you, you're gonna die. Basically,
Yep.
these guys are both very strong. They're both knockout guys. Rosenstruik has had a very strange career. Just a very strange series of matchups. At one point or another was like, could he go on a title run? And then
Yep.
kind of just like is an afterthought now. Maybe I'll change him to my high value underdog, even though it's not high value, but he obviously has a better chance of winning than Pedro does. But is Gaziev undefeated?
Gaziev is undefeated. Yes, he's 12-0. This is his second UFC fight,
You know
though.
what? His
So
last name ends in
Rosenstruik,
EV. His last name ends in EV. So
but
yeah, I'm taking.
he is a striker. He's not going to be trying to submit anybody.
Okay, then I think I'm going to take Gaziev by knockout, by a TKO or a KO. I'm looking
All right, very
at
nice.
the odds on that. So the winning method is you'd have Gaziev is a plus 130 by KO or TKO. Yeah. 5 rounds, a chance to get the knockout. I'll take that one. I like it.
Listen, I think that's a great bet. I'm not going to pick this one. I really like Rosenstruik. I believe it was either his UFC debut or his second fight where he got a 9-second knockout with a jab, and I forget who it was. I don't even think the other guys.
I literally just watched it. Yeah,
I love that knockout. It's just so beautiful. He was brave enough to fight Francis Ngannou when nobody wanted to fight him, and he very famously got fucking bulldozed. So
he called him out too.
For,
He called for the
yeah,
fight. Yeah,
he did. He did. So the man has balls. He's South American. If for people who don't know this, there is a Dutch-speaking country in South America, Suriname. I'm sure a lot of Americans didn't know that, but so yeah, he is a Dutch-speaking South American.
I thought you were going to say South African. Wow.
No, not South African.
Okay.
No, South American. Yeah, Suriname. Yeah, there's also a French-speaking country in Brazil, in South America, but I'm getting sidetracked here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick this because it is a coin flip. I honestly could see either guy winning, especially since Gaziev he's only fought once in the UFC. But
Right.
I'm busting out Timmy Super Parlay. I've retired. It was retired for a while, but I've got a good one here. I'm feeling really strong, and I might just throw Jake Paul in the mix just because. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how I'm breaking down my parlay.
All right.
Okay, and I will put it on screen because I got the screenshots ready.
I already have Jake Paul locked in on the money line.
Yeah, and I would throw Jake Paul on the money line too. I don't have DraftKings open, so I'm not going to do it now. But
you don't want to do my knockout
for the main
at
event.
900?
Wait, what?
You don't want to do knockout at a minus 900? You rather do the minus 2,500 money line?
Oh yeah. Well, I just be safe. Be
All right,
safe
money
because I
line.
don't
Got
want to
it.
fuck with
Got
my
it.
parlay for Jake Paul. Watch him get the knockout.
There's some
or
funny
get the
business with that
decision or
fight,
something, yeah.
regardless. So stay money line.
Anyway, main event. This one's not going the distance. So you got round one by TKO, KO, DQ. You don't have to pick minus 105. All you have is the winning round and the method. Okay. The fight ends in round one and someone gets knocked out. That is a lock. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see that fight going the distance, and that is a minus 105. Okay. Then you've got Habib's cousin, Umar, okay, he's a very heavy favorite, right? He's a minus 1,200. How do you make money on that? I'll tell you how you make money on that. You pick him to win the fight, and you go with under 1.5 rounds. So Umar's going to get the submission or the KO in 1.5 rounds. That is a plus 165. That's the second leg of the parlay. There's two more. Okay. Then you go with Muhammad Mokaev. You double dip. Okay. This is a method of victory, double chance. I really like that DraftKings does this because you can pick a guy you can pick two winning methods basically. So I got Muhammad Mokaev either by KO, TKO, or by submission. Okay. That's a plus 120. Very solid bet. And then obviously Vito Petrino is going to win by knockout. That is a plus 165. You put them all together, that becomes almost a plus 3,000. It's plus 2916, which means if you bet $100, you can win $3,016. Make it rain, print the money. That is easy cash in the books. I have not felt this solid about a parlay in a long time. And I hope I don't eat my words, but I'm feeling good. Timmy Super Parlay is back, baby.
You've successfully changed my mind to take Vitor Petrino by knockout, by the way. So I've switched.
Good.
Yeah. But I'm still going with Gaziev. I actually have some fucking balls, and I'm taking Gaziev. I'm picking that fight, and I'm taking Gaziev.